can I kick this off? All the ones who worked at the company, how many of you went on the march this, against the closure down to London? Right.
I was a student.
Right. The reason being, it's a thing that always gets me, that they say the Tories shut the works down. And I'm no Maggie Thatcher lover, but we went down there and there was 2 sittings, because there was that many of us, there was 2 sittings in one of the big halls in Westminster, where I got in on the first crowd, in the first hall, where naturally all the Labour stalwarts were going to come along to support you, because you've come all the way to London. Callaghan was there. He was then leader of the Labour Party, because they'd been voted out the year before. Healy turned up, Skinner was there naturally, and Jack Cunningham from Sellafield area. They were 4 of the main ones. And it was something Callaghan said, and I thought, did that nobody else hear this when they were there? He turned around and said, in the mid to late 70s, Labour, he says, we looked at this and we were thinking, is concert going to close? By us. Never mind the Tories, they weren't even in power then. And Callaghan said that, he says, but what we did is we realised it would have devastated this area. And we shut a place down in North Wales, and I keep forgetting the name of it. It was I think it was who?
Was it Skin and Grove?
No, Skin and Grove's North Yorkshire.
Lanwellan.
It was a rolling mill, and they shut that down, and naturally they shut the the shut Hounds Guild down at Concert. But he said they were looking to close Concert, and I thought, bloody hell, we've come all the way down here, and you're going to close it as well. But at the end of that year, we were shut, but it was the Tory government who said Concert shuts. But Labour were considering it as well. And everybody says it's the bitch Thatcher. If Labour had gotten into power again, I think they would have shut it. Just my thoughts on it, but they said Concert was under consideration for closure by them.
I hadn't heard it was previous Labour policy, but I know who did shut it.
Oh, you know who did shut it.
I know who did shut it, yeah.
But they were the same as the Tories. When the Tories come in, Joe said it last week, the world was looking for cutting back on steel production, and Concert was considered. But Labour were also considering it before that.
I think it was the time when Sir Keith Joseph came up. He was the
he was
the hatchet man who came up to actually.
But how long was it? You remember the new mill? What we call the new mill that was on the Slaggy. How long was it before that they got a refurbishment? Or was it about £10 million worth of refurbishment?
I mentioned that last week.
Well, surely the hell somebody must have been looking there for to keep it open. And then how long did it last before it closed?
The building
Practically straight
extension
away,
was never
Ted.
welded. It was bolted together because they knew you could dismantle it. They did. Well, it did. It did. The new extension, all the cranes and all the girders and steelwork disappeared very quickly, but it wasn't burnt down, it was dismantled.
So, but why pay all that money just to do that and then close it the following year, was it?
Yeah.
Only lasted a year. That was a lot of money spent that for doing it.
It was 12 million.
I mean, I people get political about it, but the truth of the matter was, the end of it was when the big furnace, whether it be Labour, Conservative, Lib Dems, they built the big furnace at Teesside. They were on the dockside. We were 50 miles up the road. All right.
There was a problem with
Thatcher
that.
didn't. Yeah.
There was a problem with that in that we did special steels. Middlesbrough did. Middlesbrough was one of a nationwide plan for 10 deep water plants, as you'll recall. And what was happening was consumption was dropping through the floor at the time. Like, so the deep water plants idea was deeply flawed as a concept. It was deeply flawed. And Concert was still making the money. I mean, I laughed when you said how many people work at the company. You know, about half of them. You used to say, how many people work here? About half of them. But people that were employed by it, but it was still making a profit at the end. Substantial. It was a political decision.
We used to go over the country, visiting the company, and we made the best steel in the country.
Absolutely.
And people cringed when it was announced. But once the big furnace went up at Teesside, and you've got to remember there was a second furnace in a field, which was phase 2, but because consumption dropped, they never built the second furnace. British Steel, Keith Joseph, had to justify that furnace going on 100% production, because that furnace couldn't operate at 50%. and there wasn't enough production in the country to justify 3 little furnaces at Concert and 1 massive furnace at Teesside.
The demand for steel was going down as they built them 10 water plants, you know what I mean? They just weren't very,
But
It wasn't
they
just
weren't
us,
very
as you say,
sharp.
there was Landwern, there was Skin and Grove.
Exactly.
Everybody suffered, but we were just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
but at the time, the Queen and Hearth furnace was overproducing, and they were running the torpedoes up from Redgar.
Exactly.
To actually, because we could actually utilise it and make
Well,
the
we had the
special
best
steels.
LD plant in the world.
Yeah.
We made alloy steels in that LD vessel, which even the people who built the vessel said couldn't be done. We could do it, but that meant nothing. I mean, the other thing was chop the plate mill off, the cancerous leg as they called it, and the main works will stay open. Within 3 years, the whole works was closed.